Hi there, Melissa here with School Safety Solution. I wanted to take a minute to show you how easy it is to utilize your Hideaway Helper in the event of an emergency. You simply reach up, pull the Velcro tab, and you'll notice that the Hideaway Helper has fallen into place within seconds of release.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hope is Not a Tactic. I'm your host, Lieutenant Joe Pangaro, and this week we're going to be talking about safety solution products that are out there on the market, because I know that's one thing when I talk to school people and business people everywhere, one of the most difficult things for them to do is to figure out amongst all of the equipment that's out there what really is valuable and what is good. So I've tried to vet a lot of these products. When I was a school security director, I had the opportunity to really look at these products very, very closely. And I found things that are essential to your safety when you're in a school or in a business or anywhere. And one of those essential things that I have found is the ability to cover the window in the door, either in your classroom, the hallway classroom door, or in your office. If you happen to be in your office and for whatever reason you have a violent incident taking place, whether that's an active shooter or that's just someone who's unpredictably potentially violent in your building, you want to close it down and block it. So I see lots of people trying different things out there to protect their classrooms, and I was searching around and I found School Safety Solutions. This company makes a commercially made window shade for school classroom doors, and I looked at them. They're quality product. They're very reasonably priced. So it's one of the things I don't mind bringing to your attention. If you're thinking about this, you might want to take a look at these. Okay, so we're going to talk today. We have Melissa Hardecopf with us today. Melissa is the owner of School Safety Solutions, and she's going to give us a little demonstration so you see how these things work. So Melissa, let me welcome you aboard to Hope is Not a Tactic.
Hi there, Joe. Thanks so much for having me. I look forward to giving information about our company and the product that we offer that is super simple but super effective and super necessary in classrooms.
It absolutely is. I know one of the things that I have written about and I teach when I do my threat assessments is when you see one of these people who are attacking a school active shooter. We look at Parkland High School. The shooter was coming down the hallway looking for victims, and the doors to the classrooms were locked, but he had the ability to see into the classroom, and when he did, he fired through the windows and he actually killed students in the room who were not able to hide very well, but he could see them. So I always made the connection here that it's kind of like, you know, the dog, when the dog sees the cat, he'll go after him. If he doesn't see the cat's okay. So being able to block that window, I think, is essential for safety. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to say there are my brother and sisters in law enforcement. Some of them say leave the window open so we can see in. Other people say no, go ahead and close it. I'm going to tell you from my experience what I do. The best thing to do is when you're in an event like that is to cover that classroom hallway window so that nobody can see into you. All right, so that's one of the things I think is essential for safety and security, and that's why I like this product so much. So just tell us a little bit about School Safety Solutions and yourself, Melissa.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we have the same thought process as you. Basically, in an event like that, you know, an active shooter event or an emergency crisis event, out of sight, out of mind is kind of our thought process. You know, everyone is working off their adrenaline, working so quickly. So you just want to get out of sight from any danger that is around you. And so I'm so excited to be with School Safety Solution and providing this shade for schools and for classrooms and for teachers. I spent over 10 years in a first grade classroom, and back in 2003, when I first started my career, I can remember participating in lockdown drills. And so as we were working on the lockdown drills, it was very basic. We wanted to get the kids out of sight, find a spot in the classroom to get them out of sight. However, I can remember one drill in specific where they actually brought police dogs in. So they had their big canine unit in, and it was pretty intense to practice that drill. And so in my classroom, I was able to get the kids huddled in the corner. These were first graders, so imagine 6 and 7 year olds in the corner. The lights were off, the door was locked, all the shades were pulled on the exterior windows. But I remember in my head thinking, okay, I have classroom door windows, and then I had side light windows, and I kept thinking to myself, okay, well, can someone see in? Are we in a spot that's hidden enough where no one can see us? Sure. And so I can remember vividly, am I doing the best to protect my students? And coming across this product, it empowers teachers, empowers, staff members within a school to know that, okay, in an instant, I can pull the Velcro tab, the shade will drop, and we will be out of sight, out of mind from any intruders. And so, that kind of, I'm able to bring that kind of connection.
Sure. Well, as I'm listening to you speak, I'm saying your experience as a classroom teacher, especially with those little babies, one of the things we talk about is a hard corner. Okay, so when somebody's looking in that window from side to side from the hallway, how do you know? And you just said it, I think it was very clear. How do you know you're out of sight? So one of the things that I suggest to people is that you mark that off. So you mark off the area, have somebody standing at the window looking in, and when they cannot see you any further, put a mark. So I suggest, put the mark on the ceiling, because if you put it on the floor and they wax the floors, the tape disappears, or they do the carpet or whatever. But if you put it on the ceiling, it's kind of permanent. And then if you're behind that line, you're in that nice hard corner where they cannot see anybody. But it would be a comfort to have that window covered. For sure they cannot see you. So your experience, I think, as a teacher is invaluable to this kind of thing.
Absolutely. And, when you're in the moment, you only have seconds to react. And so just like any other, emergency drill that you practice, like fire escape and, tornado, we do tornado drills here in Illinois. And, we're always tweaking and figuring out, what to do so that we can be as quick as can be to protect all these students. So same goes for lockdowns and these dangerous situations.
And that fits right into what I'm always talking about. Time equals life. Mm-hmm. That's the key in these lockdown situations. Time equals life. The faster you can secure that room, cover that window, and get everybody out of sight and into the safest position possible, the best chance everyone's going to have of surviving. And that's why I find, window shades essential to that safety. So give me some basics on what makes up your window shade.
Sure, absolutely. So I do have a couple samples here. We have one on our demo window, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But here's a sample that we have, and I'll show it a little closer so you can get a close look at what it looks like. So we have this black opaque fabric. It's 100% polyester, and it is fire retardant, and it follows the NFPA 701 standard. So this can be hung up in your classroom, in your schools, and your fire department's going to come through, and they're going to be, they're going to say, okay, this is fine, it follows our code. So that was really important to us to make sure that we had that there. It's also really simple and really easy to not only install, but to use. So if you flip it over, each shade comes with the adhesive already on the back. So then it's really easy to install. You don't have to have any other hardware. You don't have to have any tools or anything in order to get it mounted on your surface. We use industrial strength Velcro adhesive. So you'll simply just peel off to reveal the adhesive, and then wherever you need it, you stick it and it stays.
So you don't have to screw anything into the door.
Right. Absolutely. Right.
And I think that's an important point. I don't think we can gloss over that when you're saying that the fire code personnel are okay with this, because we both know that their life safety stuff is to keep everybody safe during a fire. And sometimes there's clashes between the equipment we need for active shooter safety and the fire safety. So they're all good with this product, is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And there's no drilling, no ruining the fire rating of the door. You just put it on there and the adhesive holds it on.
Yes. And it adheres to, wood, metal, all surfaces. We, always advise to adhere it to the frame that's above the window, not necessarily the window. So sometimes we have to work through situations and we work one-on-one with our customers to get exactly what they need. And, if they have a smaller space that they need to have the adhesive stick to, because if you notice, this is a 2-inch Velcro adhesive. So, if you need to have that clearing up there, but if not, we can always modify it.
So this is customizable, is what you're saying?
Absolutely, yes. And so we pride ourselves in customer service because we want to make sure we are satisfying everyone that we work with, because we are talking about schools. We are talking about safety for not only students, but the staff, the teachers, anyone who's, in the school building. So that works out really handy to have it easily mounted wherever you need it. And so it also serves a purpose on side light windows, just any type of window that you might have in your classroom. And so then once it's mounted, if you flip it over, you'll see that it's rolled up in a loose roll. And this is simply a Velcro tab that you pull, and in an instant, it falls into place. And I'll demonstrate that on the board as well. So the fabric, as you can see, is opaque. You can't see through it. It's a nice thick polyester. And then what's great is it also rolls up nicely when you're completed with whatever drill or whatnot that you're using.
See, I like that. I like that because you don't have to do anything with it. It's not like you have to pull it down ready to fix it anywhere. You just pop that button, it looks like, and it drops down.
Right, exactly. Yes. And I can demonstrate, I can show you on this window as well. So it's obviously unrolled in the position. And so we roll it up, and it just takes one person to roll it. And with the Velcro tab at the top, it's in ready position. And so when you are, working with a drill, you lock the door, you get the window covered. And so it's in an instant, it pulls down and falls into place. So it's a very simple, fast, effective product.
That fits my whole conversation about time equals life, because I can imagine that as a teacher, if there was a real event taking place, or even an office building, if there's a real event taking place, there are some very scary things going on. There could be screaming and hollering. You could be hearing gunshots. Teacher doesn't want to be close to that door. They want to get that locked. You just pull that tab and that drops right into place. I think that gives you that feeling of coverage very, very quickly, just from seeing your demonstration.
Hi there, Melissa here with School Safety Solution. I wanted to take a minute to show you how easy it is to utilize your Hideaway Helper in the event of an emergency. You simply reach up, pull the Velcro tab, and you'll notice that the Hideaway Helper has fallen into place within seconds of release.
Yes, and we actually had a customer reach out to us. It was early last summer, a customer from California who emailed us saying, we had an intruder in our school. And this was a staff person, I believe, in one of the offices. And she just told us how they had nothing to cover the window, and she was just scrambling, like thinking, okay, what can we cover this window with?
Right.
And, you know, construction paper and tape is not going to do it. You need to have something already in place so that it can release and do its job right away.
No question about that. I've seen lots of schools tell me, you know, they keep big pieces of construction paper around and they're going to glue that up and they're going to tape it in place. And I'm saying, it sounds like a good idea, but to be standing there trying to do that when something's going on is going to be very difficult. So having something in place is really a great part of this product.
Yeah, it is very essential. So yeah, there are so many customers that are just so satisfied and so happy to know that it's there, because, you know, we can't live with blinders on thinking, oh, it's never going to happen, because you think about the events that did happen. I bet you talked to everyone who was involved in those events, and in the back of their minds, they would think this could never happen at our school.
Well, that's what we say all the time. The most dangerous thing anybody can ever say is it'll never happen here. We have to be aware and prepare. We have to be able to respond quickly to give ourselves the best chance. So, you know, before I even had met you and saw School Safety Solutions, I was out there preaching, cover that window any way you can. Any way that you can, as quick as possible. And I know it's difficult for people to do in that emergency. So when I saw, you know, your product there, I thought that was a great thing that I wanted to let my audience know about. So one of the things we talked about real quick there was it's customizable. You know, some schools have really big windows, some have tiny windows. I don't want to buy something that's going to be, you know, 12 inches wide if I only need 5 inches wide. You can customize the widths and everything, the lengths also?
Yes, exactly. I'm glad you brought that up. I was thinking that same thing. We are excited to be manufactured right here in the United States. So we are able to create orders that meet every single building's need. Because, you know, think about all the buildings that have been built over the century. They have different size windows, different, you know, they have side lights, you know, different designs over the decades. And so, yeah, it's important to meet the size needs that each building has, each classroom has.
Even in some schools, I see they have different doors. They've changed doors over the years, and they have different size windows in those hallway doors all over the school. So that's really an important feature, I think, for all my friends out there that are trying to figure out what to do. And the application I see here, because when I talk to business people as well, I tell them, you know, they have to lock down too. You have a lot of shootings in business that they need to cover their windows also. And there's a myriad of sizes that you'll find there. So that's great that it's customizable. So let me ask you something. How would somebody reach out to you? How would they get you if they want to go take a look at what you have and talk to you? Where do they contact you?
Absolutely, yes. You can always check out more information about our shades at www.schoolsafetysolution.com. And then we also have an easy email to remember. That's info, at schoolsafetysolution.com. And when you send an email, you'll get a response within, the day. And we just pride ourselves on customer service because we want to serve, we want to serve schools. We want to serve churches. We want to serve offices. We want to serve you, all the people, to make sure that everyone has the safeguards needed in order to keep themselves protected during an emergency. You can also reach us on our 888 number. So it's 888-733-0406. And there'll always be someone picking up the phone or returning a phone call as soon as possible. So we're always here to help. Very happy to help anyone who needs it.
That's great. I know. And as I was researching this, because I'm doing this series on equipment, because like I said, there's so much equipment out there. Mm-hmm. You guys answered the phone right away, and you emailed me back right away. Yeah. So I was glad to meet you and get you to come on here, because this is important stuff. People need to know that you're out there. They need to go take a look, do their due diligence, and see what they can do. I'm telling you, cover your windows, ladies and gentlemen. That's one of the most safest things you can do to help yourself survive a terribly violent incident. So Melissa, thank you very much. I appreciate you and School Safety Solutions being on the program. you're helping to provide information and you offer a great product. From what I can see here, it looks like it's one of the solutions that I would be able to tell people about as I go about and do my business. So thank you very much for being on. And for everybody out there in Hope is Not a Tactic land, remember, the title of the show is there for a reason. Just hoping that things work out is not a good way to make a plan. You need to plan and prepare. Be ready to respond, train. We can't be paranoid, but what we have to do is be aware and prepare. And using the right technology, the right pieces of equipment with the right kind of training is what's going to bring all of this together, that in a violent event, which I hope none of us ever have to experience, but if it does, you'll be able to increase your odds of surviving and protecting those people around you. So until we meet again here on Hope is Not a Tactic, I'm your host, Lieutenant Joe Pangaro, and I want to thank you all for watching. Be safe out there.